All right, Shalom. Hey, Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the nation of Israel, better known as the Great Millstone. Shalom, salutations to the elect, the 1/3 and the 144,000, and death to 2/3. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and North American Indians are Hebrew Israelites, whether you believe it or not, whether you accept it, acknowledge it, whatever. The reason you're in the conditions you're in and life is dealing with you the way it is because the curses are upon you. And for a lot of you that don't know, the so-called white man is the devil. Okay? Even though some will say he's not, you have to look and consider all of his works, and you'll see that everything he's done in the earth is destroyed the people and the planet. So real quick, grab Job 9:24. Khan, go ahead.
This is Sirach, chapter 16, verse 6. In the congregation of the ungodly shall a fire be kindled, and in a rebellious nation wrath is set on fire.
A congregation of the ungodly, okay, shall a fire be kindled. So one thing you're seeing is what? A lot of death and destruction. A lot of people are getting killed, and in all types of manners. Okay, and in a rebellious nation, wrath is set on fire. Now, this dealing with the ungodly, and the wicked. This goes in on the so-called white man, and it also goes in on 2/3 of our own nation. So it's got a duality to it. Okay, so you're seeing so-called white people. You're seeing a lot of them start to get some sort of a judgment at their doorstep, and then even for you Israelites, you Jakes, you're starting to see it too, and it's looking like whole nations are just getting taken out. And that's because Israel is scattered throughout the whole world too. Okay? So the ultimate fire that's coming is a nuclear destruction. But real quick, and grab this Job 9:24. If not, I got it. Okay. This is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So that's a valid question. And so when you do a process of elimination, you wonder and you ask yourself, who's in charge of the whole world? Who's able to make policies and who's had the biggest effect on the planet in so-called modernization and civilizing people, so-called, right? And you have no other conclusion to jump to other than the so-called white man. Everything is modeled after his structure. Okay, everything is all topsy-turvy. All right. Now the brothers out there in DC, the brother Monaghan, Elder Monaghan, okay, they were going in on Esau is the real black person. And it's true. They're void of understanding. Okay. Do you have brothers got precepts? Go ahead and call them out.
Yeah, this is Psalm 37 and 9. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord Yahweh shall inherit the earth. So the earth being given into the hands of the wicked.
Right. So if you're the way the sentence is structured, it says, but those that wait upon the Lord shall inherit the earth. So if the earth is already given into the hands of the wicked, then that lets you know, process of elimination, the wicked, they can't inherit They can't inherit the earth. So the opposite of the wicked will be able to inherit the earth. Okay? Which would be the righteous. Okay? And matter of fact, when you get to Obadiah, when you read that one little book of Obadiah, okay? And verse 21, okay? It says, and saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. So this hasn't happened yet because the kingdom isn't on the earth. So for the kingdom to come and to be established, the righteous, the saviors, the elect, the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, okay, coming upon Mount Zion, the remembered monument, to judge the nation, the wicked, the ungodly nation of Edom, of Esau. Okay? So if Esau is losing power or about to be judged, and the kingdom is going to be given over into those that are coming up onto the Mount of Zion to judge the Mount of Esau, then that's letting you know that Edom's in power. We're not in power, but the proper restructuring of things is going to set the elect up to rule over the earth so that it'll finally be at peace. You brothers got any precepts? Go ahead and call them out.
This is Psalm chapter 106, starting at verse 40. It says, therefore was the wrath of the Lord kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand.
Khan. So that's a clear description, a descriptive scripture explaining everything that was just mentioned, and you have no other conclusion to come to other than, hey, the so-called white man, he is the devil. Okay, and that's something, Khan. That's something that a lot of people or other camps don't really go into.
It also the scripture said that he oppressed what did it say? He oppressed the people of the earth.
Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand.
Yes. So that lets you know that it's who's doing the oppressing everyone in the earth. You know, the way this country was founded was through oppression. You know, so the people being oppressed is the righteous that's going to inherit the earth, and the people doing the oppression is the one who the earth is given into their hands at this current time. You know, so that's how you know that Esau is you know the person doing all the wickedness. You know.
Yep. It's got the whole world in bondage.
This is Malachi chapter 1 verse 4, and it reads, whereas Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh hath indignation forever. You know, the border of wickedness.
Yep, the border of wickedness. So a border is something that's easily identifiable. Okay. Their land. Okay. The border. The people shall call them the border of wickedness. Now, one thing about a border in a military sense is that you would present yourself at the border to go to war. So anytime Edom comes around, where are they at? They're at your borders. And what are they proposing? Wickedness. They want to change the ways of the world, the ways of righteousness, really. You know, give women rights, let men be women, let women be men, change the sexual orientation of children, which hasn't even developed yet. You see? So it's just they're a known wicked people. And they'll say that they have done no wrong. Okay? But and they feel they have no one to answer to, but soon they're gonna have to answer to the Most High.
So you got something?
Yeah. This is Job chapter 20, starting at verse 4. Know thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet shall he perish like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he?
Right. So, what does Edom, the so-called white man, say? He basically says that he's God. He'll make a spacesuit and go into space and be in the orbit of the Earth, and he can withstand the extreme temperatures of warmth and cold. And so he's mounted himself up in his excellency unto the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
He's placed himself at a pinnacle of a society and technology and just human accomplishment. Okay, that's the wording they'll use: human accomplishment. So, if it's not, I mean, because the Arab's not doing it,
Right.
and he's supposedly the biggest terrorist on the planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually the so-called white man who's polluting space, polluting the water, the earth, destroying animals, destroying people, and nobody wants to talk about it. You know, you got more Israelites involved in unity camps and coming together on disagreements. They want to come together under disagreements. You know, and this whole Black Power movement, they feel like, you know, they want to exist in this kingdom, man.
They want to be famous.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
they want to be famous, and that gets into another thing. You see a lot of these guys that call themselves teachers, but they're eating food on camera. There's a number of guys that do it and have done it where they're just smacking food, but they're doing a show that's supposed to be, the shows are for edifying. These are epistles. Imagine if all of Paul's letters were all thrown off because, you know, everyone was constantly eating and snacking, and, you know, you'd have jots and tittles all over the place, and, you know, people would make Bibles with what's the word? With the food stains on it. On purpose.
Yeah.
You know, it's got food stains on purpose to simulate how much he would eat when he would write his letters.
Got taco meat like stuck to the pages.
Yeah, come on, man. How is that a holy thing? So
if I can say
go
something, it'd be like going to a concert and the rapper is eating a fucking Big Mac and shit and spitting, you know,
right,
spitting the crowd and shit.
Trying to right. You got the pulling women on stage, crumbs all in their face, throwing crumbs in their face. So right, so they desire Moses' seat, but they have no respect for it or the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, which is associated with that seat, man. Okay, so they're just as wicked too. Okay, the so-called white man, he's not the only problem. 2/3 of our own people are just as much of the problem. Okay, so that's why judgment is coming so swift. If you get on your internet and Google, just look at the news articles that are coming out, man. So many people are just being, you know, murdered, attacked, destroyed, put to death.
The love of many shall wax cold.
Yeah, and nobody gives a shit, man. People are more excited about raiding Area 51, okay, than a black. What happened to the Black Lives Matter movement? What happened to the oil pipeline movement? Now all that attention and energy has been shifted over to raiding Area 51, where people are gonna be running like Naruto to dodge bullets and shit. Get the fuck out of here, man.
I got a piece of it.
Come on.
Because you mentioned Esau with his technology going into space and being able to endure cold and heat and all that. Pretty much him wanting to be the Most High. This is Isaiah 14 and 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning, who art how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High, I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, I will be like the Most High.
Yep, I read verse 15 too.
Yep. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
Right. Yet you're going to be brought down into the grave, to the sides of the pit. You're going to be fully buried. You're going to be fully in a what do they call that when you dig a ditch? You're gonna be fully in that grave pit. You're gonna be brought back down to hell, to the grave, to the sides of the pit. So you're gonna be buried underneath. You know, like you might build or dig a grave for a horse.
Mm-hmm.
You know how big and wide you got to dig that thing to bury a horse. A horse is big. And you're gonna dig past the horse to bury you underneath a rotting horse, man.
That's
That's
gonna be their living quarters.
Yep.
Just like you got a Groundhog's Day.
Oh yeah.
You go have little kids
Yep.
in the kingdom. Esau fucking waking up early in the morning, rearing his
Man.
bald head for work. You know, a little Jake just bow, just hitting them and shit.
Man, you see that plant that when you touch it, it makes people want to commit suicide because the poison nettles and the burning is so bad. You had one Edomite, I think this was out in Europe. He wiped his butt with it, and he ended up killing himself because he couldn't deal with the pain. It was so bad. So that's the stuff that Edom. You guys have. You're gonna sleep on it. You're gonna use it to wash your hands and your face. Okay, so you're gonna be in constant pain, and we're gonna put that. We're gonna use our spiritual power, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai willing, to make it to where you can still perform, and you never get. You're always gonna be uncomfortable, but you still gonna carry that rock. Okay,
Yeah, that's Jacob in this captivity. Man. You gotta
gout and all these ailments and shit. You still gotta go to work and pay bills. Can't get no rest. So it's gonna be on you. But the problem is for you. The problem for you is it's times two.
Yeah.
It's doubled without mixture, man. It's gonna be a full concentration of hell.
Right. That's according to Isaiah 33 and 18, saying that your mind's supposed to meditate terror.
Con.
I had a precept.
Yep.
This is John chapter 7 verse 18. He that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory, but he that seeketh his glory that sent him, the same is true, and no unrighteousness is in him. And that was based off of you saying that these guys was out there, trying to be famous, man, trying to seek out popularity rather than actually edify the elect.
Right, and then look at this. It says, in verse 19, did not Moses give you the law, and yet none of you keepeth the law? Why go ye about to kill me? And he just had on the breakfast show, Charlemagne, and some other church dude, kind of like talking about the scriptures and the law, but they're both bald headed with no beard. Two bald headed niggas talking about the law.
Yeah.
defending faggots.
Yeah, defending homosexuality, man. You know, then you still got guys eating on camera, no respect for the. Where do you find in the scriptures that they're just, munching away, grubbing away, and doing priestly services, and munching in front of everybody?
Yeah, the scripture said, "Do all things decently and in order." Even Yahushua, even when he fed people, it was done decently. He had them sit down, you know what I'm saying, in groups or whatnot, and fed them. But that was they took care of business first. It wasn't
Yep.
just all sporadic and unorganized.
Yeah, the scriptures tell you, even when you're listening to music and you're eating, you're not supposed to interrupt the music. You're supposed to let the music play, and then you don't talk in the midst of music playing, because in the ancient world you had people performing, so it was rude, to get up and go to the bath. That's why in these so-called plays and stuff, they have intermissions where you can get up.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the movie theater, you're watching the movies, you don't want to see someone pop up, and walk across the screen, or hear a bunch of babies crying.
Right.
There's a time and a place for these things, man. And you had this one guy say that if it was up to him in the ancient world, he'd put Apostle Gabar to death. But then the same guy was just eating on camera, man. No respect, man. So they got their fame. They got their little followers and whatever it is that they got in this life, but it amounts to nothing in the end.
Yeah, it's just like no, go ahead.
I was just saying, vanity and vexation of spirit. The brother said that it amounts to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like in the world uh, you had that Jake celebrating so-called Christmas, and if you was naughty, you get a bag of coal. That's the really proverb or whatnot. So that's what them cats gonna get, man. They doing all this seeking for fame and fortune. They might not say it, but I mean their actions show that that's what they want. They want to be seen of men, all right? But that bag of coal that they gonna get is gonna be that Yahweh Shai saying, "I never knew you."
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Had the precept we quoted, Sirach 32 and 4. It reads, Sirach 32 and 4. Pour not out words where there is a musician, and show not forth wisdom out of time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you see a lot of guys are without discernment. You got no business conducting yourself with the word in that manner. When the word is speaking and it's time to work, you're supposed to be focused on the actual work. So anyway, with that, we'll wrap it up. And until next time, Shalom.